It was October 21st, 2007, a Sunday afternoon. We were preparing to take our family to my niece's baptism in Orange County. I was getting my kids ready. One was taking a bath, one was taking a shower, and I just felt this sense of eeriness. So I went to pray, and as I was praying and seeking the Lord, I just felt like the Lord was telling me my life was going to change and things were going to be different. But I really didn't know what that meant. My husband had gone outside and had noticed that the wind was really kicking up, and so he jumped in his car and told me that he was going to go for a ride around the block and be right back. It was not unusual for him to do that, but when he came back home, he told me to do exactly what he said and to get what we couldn't live without. As we were pulling out of the driveway, I noticed the flames were coming down the hill, and they were just rolling. The flames were so high, they were rolling down the hills. I had thought that by the time that evening would come, that our whole neighborhood would be in fire.
About 3.5 years ago, when the recession started happening in California, I found myself in a situation where we were about to lose our business. My wife and I own a moving and storage company, and at the time, things just were not happening. We were falling behind in rent, money was not coming in. It was a dark cloud on top of us. It came to the point where I was praying one time, and I was really just frustrated. Myself with my feelings were, am I a loser? Am I just like not happening? Is my wife going to leave me because now I'm not going to be able to provide? That was tough when I wasn't able to do that.
So it was the middle of the year, 2006, and I started experiencing symptoms of equilibrium problems. My wife, Allison, she told me to get checked out. So I went to a doctor, and they had mentioned different possibilities, one of which was a brain tumor in the inner ear. Through much prayer, my wife and I decided to go ahead and have it removed. The Lord answered our prayers, and didn't have any issues from the surgery. But through a routine follow-up scan from that first tumor, they noticed that there was another area in my frontal lobe, and they ordered a specialized test. The doctors were thinking that it was a cancerous tumor, and I was at work that day on my way to an appointment, and I got a call from the neurologist, and he just said it matter-of-factly what it was, and it was the brain cancer.
As we're leaving that area up towards the 5 freeway north, my sister calls my husband's cell phone and says, "Hey, there's a fire in your neighborhood on Camp Plenty Road, and I think you better listen in." And so my husband was talking to my sister more, and they gave the number of the house, and I felt very sad because I thought it was the neighbor across the street. They're a young couple with 2 young children, and I felt very sad for them. But then the Holy Spirit spoke to me and said, "No, that's your house. Don't cry. Be strong. I'm not leaving you."
Came to the point where I needed to do something to rescue the business, to rescue my family, what I've worked so hard for. I realized that whatever I was doing it wrong, and what I needed to do was to submit and bring it to God's attention. Being a controlled person that I am, that's something very hard for me to do. Let go and let God, to me, was like, wow, amazing.
So there I was sitting in my car, just at this point I pulled off to a side street, and I just lost it. It was completely just bawling in my car, and the adversary was attacking my thoughts of just not being there for my family, for Allison and, Lucas. And, around that time we just had found out Micah, was on the way as well. So I just couldn't handle it anymore on my own, and I called out to the Lord in my car to help me with just the fear that I was having, and to stop those thoughts from the adversary. And he answered me that day. He told me that he gave me a future, that he promised to me, and to stop sinning and to keep moving forward.
We're able to get into the area, and it was so gloomy, it was so gray, it was so devastation. There was such quiet, and it seemed like a graveyard of my life and everything my husband and I had built for the 10 years before. And as sad as I was and as broken as we were, we knew that our God, who told us that he would be there with us, had not failed us, and that he would still somehow raise us out of the ashes and would do something beautiful of our life that we could not even see.